I feel like it should be easier than it is for people to report stalkers and give them, leave them alone. I think the hard part too is sometimes people feel like they don't want to be rude and to someone, and they don't want to cause a problem, so they don't want to say they're a problem until it's too late. I used to work in a casino, and situations would come up with like the female customers or guests and female employees where you'd want to get involved, you'd want to help them, but they just weren't giving you any sort of like indication that they wanted help, or they were indicating that they didn't want help. You're like, okay. And like one like situation that was annoying is like some young girl or older girl, but somebody would be playing like a slot machine, and people will watch people play in a casino. It's really obnoxious, but there'll be some guy that is like sitting back and just watching them play, and you can tell that they're clearly uncomfortable with this individual. And you'll ask them like in subtle ways and then not so subtle ways, like, do they want help? Do you want us to ask them to move? And they just won't say anything. And like that limits your options. Or like one time, a guest smacked one of my employees on the butt, and she told me about it, and I was like, okay, like I'll get the cameras to look at it, and we'll get them thrown out. And then she didn't really want to like make a statement, which would have been necessary to throw this guy out. And then when I talked to surveillance, they didn't have an angle because of the people standing around to see that it happened. So I needed her to say something to kick him out, and she just wouldn't say anything. She didn't want to make a scene. So I ended up just kicking him out, which was a risk to my job. But I was like, nope, you may not want to press charges or say something, but I'm not gonna just like wait for it to happen to someone else or for them to think that this kind of behavior is okay. So without proof, I still kicked them out. And I could have gotten in trouble, but I just would rather err on the side of caution. All right, I gotta bounce. I'm out of time. So I think if you are ever vulnerable, it's really good to have friends that will help you drop at the drop of a hat and be willing to weather storms for you. I tell all my female relatives that I'm more than willing to take care of any problems they have. Um, And that's why I think having family is important. And if you don't have family, like finding good people to surround yourself with that will make sure that you're safe. There's nothing more like frustrating to me than when I find out that someone in proximity to me was dealing with some bad situation for a while and didn't say anything, and you would have been more than willing to help them if they had said something. And then you go into the side if you're not, you don't want to victim shame. Um, but it is incredibly frustrating. Yeah. Now I get it. Like in our society, at least in California, there's a lot of risk to standing up for someone and taking on that cause, especially because a lot of times the police won't or the police can't. So if you want something to change, you have to go very old school sometimes. That sucks so much though. Yeah, it does. It does suck. I wish things were better. I wish it was like all all creeps and all bad guys, got what was coming to them right away. And that kind of behavior would stop. And especially because I do think that we have instincts that tell us when someone is a bad person, but we also have this thing in the US and in California where people are told so much, like, oh, you can't judge a book by its cover, you can't be prejudiced, you can't be racist, you can't be bigoted. And people are so scared of being perceived that way that they will ignore their instincts in a bad situation because they'll be like, oh, I'm just, I'm wrong and I'm sure everything is fine. It's like, no, like, listen to your instincts. When I used to buy gold, like scrap jewelry, we'd have a lot of people come in that would try to hustle us at the stores. And the most common thing when one of my employees would buy something that was fake was they'd be like, oh man, like I knew there was something wrong, or I knew that person was being weird and I just didn't like, I just ignored it. I was like, yeah, like you've got instincts for a reason. You can tell when someone's lying to you. You can tell when someone's being shifty. You just have to be willing to listen to your instincts, you know, and, you know, trust yourself. That's one of the benefits I have to having lived the life I have had and worked, around a lot of, criminals, a lot of liars, a lot of cheaters, is that you definitely develop a good instinct for who's lying, who's cheating, and who's being shady. When I worked in a casino, I got so good at spotting people out of place that I could see from across the floor. Someone could be 100 yards away from me walking, and I could just tell from the way that they were walking that something was wrong. They either stole something or they were not supposed to be there. And you would, go up and you would talk to them. And I don't want to say it's like a selective memory, like on the air of saying selective memory, but I don't think I ever got it wrong. There was never a situation where I was like embarrassed because, oh, the person was perfectly, legitimate and supposed to be there. There was always something. Either they were on drugs or they, like I said, stole something or they were gonna steal something. So listen to your instincts, rely on your instincts. I feel like in our society, in the US, in California especially, we our instincts are so dulled. And I think part of it is because our politicians lie to us so much. Our people in power lie to us so much, but they tell us that they're good people and we're supposed to believe they're good people. So they tell us like, oh, that's racist or that's bigoted or that's, prejudiced. And they make us scared of that so we don't pay attention to our instincts so that we don't catch the fact that they're bad people. So, Anyways, I gotta go. Listen to your instincts. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks, Dixie Vixie, for chatting. Appreciate it. Hope all goes well with the rest of your Tuesday, and have a good week. Take care. God bless you.